Okay, guys, I am just jumping on to do a little bit of a respiration recap for anyone that was not in my lesson today or is still a little bit confused about what respiration is. I mean, I do apologise, I totally forgot to record my lesson today, so this is its replacement. I'm going to try and keep it short and sharp because essentially respiration is actually quite simple. Okay, it's the application of respiration that gets a little bit challenging. Okay. Respiration essentially is the chemical reaction that occurs in all living organisms that releases energy. The purpose of respiration on its own is to release energy, energy to be used in metabolic processes so that organism can survive, like keeping warm, um, carrying out active transport, making new molecules, breaking down molecules, making enzymes, making proteins. All of these things require energy. Okay, and respiration is the source of energy, okay, in all living cells. If a cell stops respiring, that cell dies. Okay, now respiration is a chemical reaction. You need to know the word equation and the symbol equation. Okay, now essentially what we use for respiration, the reactants, we get from food and we get from breathing. Okay, respiration, aerobic respiration, which requires oxygen, okay, requires glucose and oxygen, and it releases carbon dioxide, water, and releases energy. Now, I will reiterate what I said in lesson today, that we cannot say produce energy. We can say produces carbon dioxide, we can say produces water, but we can't say produces energy, because if we think back to physics, law of conservation of energy says that we cannot create or destroy energy, we just transfer it from one store to another. Now, this is what we're doing. We are transferring energy from a chemical store in glucose, okay, into another form, another chemical form, to be honest, okay, that can be used by our cells. Okay, if we say produce, we are alluding to the fact that we are creating energy, which we know can't happen. Okay, so aerobic respiration is essentially taking glucose from our food, oxygen from the air we breathe in, and we create carbon dioxide as a waste product and water as a waste product. And we exhale both of those. We exhale water vapor and we exhale carbon dioxide. Okay. Now, the byproduct of this reaction is energy, and that is what our cell needs. Okay. So both of the other products, carbon dioxide and water, are actually waste products. We don't use them. Okay. We do use water, that's a slight lie, but we don't use them as a product of this reaction. Okay. Now, anywhere that I'm talking about oxygen being used in respiration is called aerobic respiration. You might have heard that term in PE if you are talking about exercising aerobically. Okay, now that is because these two concepts are linked. Okay, aerobic respiration or respiration and exercise. And the most context that you will find respiration come up in an exam question is either linked with exercise or about respiration practicals or investigating respiration on its own. Okay, that's a whole another lesson. Okay, now this reaction or the equation should not be new to you. You will have seen something like this before, because this is the reverse of photosynthesis, and we did photosynthesis last year. Okay, so respiration, talking through that, is an exothermic process, which means it releases heat. Okay, it releases heat and it obviously releases energy, which we use. Okay, now the context that we will most talk about respiration is talking about exercise. Now, I said in lesson today for you to talk through this sort of mini exam question. Why does our heart rate and our breathing rate increase during exercise? Now, the crux of this question is the fact, linking to the fact of what we're doing during exercise. Now, during exercise, we are moving. Our body is moving. Okay. If we are moving, we require energy. Therefore, we are using energy. If we are using energy, we need more energy. Therefore, we will respire more. And if we respire more, we need more of the reactants for that chemical equation. Now, the only way we can get those reactants, okay, is from supplying our cells with more blood. because glucose and oxygen are transported in our blood. Okay, so glucose and oxygen must be transported very quickly to the cells that need it during exercise. And that means that our heart rate has to increase to pump more blood around to the cells that need it. And our breathing rate increases so we can take in more oxygen, okay, to pump round to the cells that need it as well. Okay. The other side of this is if our cells are respiring more, we are producing more waste products. Now, those waste products, carbon dioxide specifically, is toxic in the body. Okay, our body has to get rid of it. So our heart has to work faster or work harder to remove those waste products. Okay, so we have to increase the heart rate to get more oxygen and glucose to the cells that need it, but also to remove waste products to get rid of them. Okay. That is the crux of this question. And this is 90% of your questions regarding, or application questions regarding respiration, will be around exercise. Okay. So then we did a little bit of exam practice. I'm not going to go through that. That is available on your class notebook if you wanted to go over those. And we ended it with a 6 marker where we were talking about the main key points for respiration or aerobic respiration. And the main key points for respiration is, or aerobic respiration, is the fact that it releases energy. Okay, it requires glucose and oxygen. It produces carbon dioxide and water, and it occurs in every single cell in the body, specifically in the mitochondria. Now, the mitochondria is a really important organelle, and cells that are responsible for carrying out a lot of exercise, like muscle cells or liver cells carry out a lot of active transport, will have a lot more mitochondria than cells that do not require a lot of energy. Okay. All right, so that was respiration in a nutshell.